Hey, welcome to Starting Stand Up. My name is David Walton. Thank you for being here. Today's very special episode it's a two-parter, and it's a compare and contraster. First, we're going to take a new segment where I imitate a great stand-up. In this case, it's going to be Louis C.K., and I do a 3 or 4 minute set of his word for word, and then I'm going to share my second open mic with live analysis, more like live self-loathing, and you can compare and contrast. It'll be a fun episode, a short one, so if you've got 10 or 15 minutes, why don't you just hang in here?
Oh man, that's rubbish! That's rubbish!
Hey, so this is a new segment. I calling it the imitation segment, and it is going to be me writing down famous stand-up acts, ones that particularly I find to be mesmerizing. The one I've chosen to start off with is a 2017 segment from Louis C.K.'s special. I believe you can find it on Netflix, and it's about abortion. And so I think the magic of stand-up, the thing that's drawn me to it the most, is it seems to me like stand-ups are the only people nowadays who can actually talk with some freedom about these very controversial subjects and unify people. So wherever you stand on these issues, when a comedian is operating like Louis does in this stand-up special, you're laughing, and both sides are laughing. And I'm sure there are people that aren't laughing and don't find it funny. But there's something very comforting about taking this very controversial subject of abortion and getting a stadium to howl. And if I will try to find the link, but just Google Netflix 2000 Louis C.K. Netflix 2017, and I think it's the opening bit. But anyway, I'm going to say his words in the same way, in the spirit that Hunter S. Thompson wrote out The Great Gatsby on his typewriter, to feel what it's like to do a great stand-up act. Louis C.K. is one of my favorites, if not mine. I think he's the GOAT in that stretch he had where he was doing a new hour every year of just incredible material. Just so hard. So anyway, thought like I might as well imitate the best of the best. And wherever you stand on it, I hope this doesn't offend. And it's not my words if it does. So there you have it. But a cool exercise. And whatever your artistic pursuit is, whatever your creative endeavor, imitation is a really cool way of getting started, whether it's writing, painting, even acting. We all try to act like Marlon Brando sometimes, don't we? All right, talk to you later.
So I think abortion is okay. Here's what I think. This is what I think. This is what I think. I think you should not get an abortion unless you need one. In which case, you better get one. I mean, seriously, if you need an abortion, you better get one. Like, don't fuck around, and hurry. Like, not getting an abortion you need is like not taking a shit. That's how bad it is. It's like not taking a shit. That's what I think. I think abortion is exactly like taking a shit. 100% the exact same thing as taking a shit. Or it isn't. It either is or it isn't. It's either taking a shit or it's killing a baby. It's only one of those two things. It's no other things. So if you didn't like hearing it's taking a shit, you think it's killing a baby. That's the only other one you get to have. Which means you should be You should be holding a sign in front of the place. They're killing babies. Now, I don't think it's killing a baby. I don't. I mean, it is. It's a little bit killing a baby. It's 100% killing a baby. It is totally killing a whole baby. But I think women should be allowed to kill babies. They should be allowed to kill babies. Woo! We get to kill babies. Let's do shots and kill some babies. I killed like 4 babies last night. It was fucking retarded. I just think it has to be one or the other. Blah, blah, blah. He says some more things. Okay. And then he goes, there's 2 reasons why women should be allowed to kill babies. Number 1, I don't think life is that important. It's just not. It is not. People get too excited about life. Oh, life. Fuck you. Fuck you. Make a list of every shitty thing ever. That is in life. Like life is okay. I like life. I like it. I don't need it. I'd be fine without it. Do you know how much I like life? I have never killed myself. That's how much I like it. That's exactly how much I like it. I've thought about it. I've think of killing myself, you know. I'm 49. I have 2 kids. I've flipped through the brochure a few times. I've thought of killing myself just to win an argument. You should be able to talk about it, suicide, you know. The whole world is made of people that didn't kill themselves today. That's who is here. People are like, oh, fuck. I'll keep doing it. You know, and that's the interesting thing. Like, life can be very difficult, sad, and upsetting, but you don't have to do it. You never have to do anything because you really don't have to do it. You don't have to do anything. You never have to do anything because you can kill yourself. All right, that's all I have so far. But I chose a very controversial one, but that's not mine. That's not me. Had nothing to do with that. But I think it's hilarious. The guy took one of the most controversial issues in America, in the world, and just made a giant crowd of people die laughing. I was going fast. Almost every one of his lines was getting laughed, and he was just destroying that place. It's just so impressive. It's like Mount Everest. I feel like I'm at the bottom of Mount Everest. I really do. And then I started noodling into Louis C.K.'s life, and he didn't start hitting till he was in 40, and he started when he was 17. So it was 18, 22 years that he was grinding, and it's like he had kids, and then he found this cranky phase, and that's when he started exploding. And he was saying that he was on Theo Von's podcast, and he was saying that there literally wasn't a venue that wouldn't sell out in a minute. We're talking like Wembley Stadium. Like they couldn't find a place in the world that he couldn't sell out immediately. He was so massive. Anyway, much respect. All other things, all creepiness or whatever aside, we all have our demons. Louis, if you're listening, I love you, man. All right, later. Hey, so this is my second open mic, and this is going to be a little different than Louis C.K. This is at the Empire Comedy Club in Portland, Maine, and I will say that I learned some big lessons listening back to this so much. Really big ones, which I'll share at the end after I loathe myself throughout. Okay, stand by.
David Walton, everybody. So, I love to journal. Do you guys like to journal? A little bit?
My God. Okay, so the second I listened back to my first open mic, and I was like, God, I'm such a spaz, and I'm all over the place. Like, let me be like cool and collected. Like, yeah, like let's be chill. And here I am, super low energy, and I'm like, hey man, you guys like to journal? Like I'm a fucking, it's like the worst vibe. And this poor girl, I remember it was Empire Comedy Club, and this poor girl was like like, oh, this horrible opening, and she's trying to get me to feel okay, just giving me the tiniest, saddest little woo. Bless her heart.
So there's a great journal prompt. Every time I do a stand-up set, I just want to give you something to take away. And it's a question. You say, what advice would my 80-year-old self give me right now? Which is, in my case, 35 years from now. So
At this point, if you haven't made anyone laugh and you're just this low energy and this chill, you better be building to something huge, some huge laugh. It can't take this long. You need to get up there and immediately start showing them that you're the boss and that you got them and that they can relax.
my 80-year-old self, I do it all the time. He's a wise man. He really is. But he's starting to act like a little bit weird. And so like today he was like, I want you to write a letter to your mom and tell her you love her. And I want you to hug your kids. I got 2 kids. He's like, I want you to hug your kids 8 extra times. And then he's like, and then I want you to go to your wife in the kitchen. And I want you to bend her over the sink, pull her hair, and fuck her while she's doing the dishes and say, you little slut. I'm gonna help you with these dishes, bitch.
Okay, relax. Like, what just happened is such hack material. It's basically like I'm all this mellow guy, and then I turn into this like creepy, well, I am talking about my 80-year-old self being a pervert. And that's an interesting premise, but it's just wrong. It's not funny. It's hack. What the fuck was I thinking? What were you thinking, dude? But you got to go through this stuff, man. This is how you learn.
And I was like, whoa. It sort of came out of nowhere. And then he started talking about venery. Have you guys heard this word, venery? Oh, it's a beautiful word. It's an old-fashioned word. And that's why he uses it, because it's an old-fashioned word. And I got the definition right here. It says, venery, and you can look it up. It says, the pursuit of or indulgence in sexual pleasure. And my 80-year-old self, all of a sudden, is all about that. And I don't know what's going on. I don't think he's getting any ass in 2058, right?
I thought that was a funny joke. My 80-year-old self isn't getting much ass in 2058. Must not be, because he's so horny. I don't know.
So he tells me to journal, and I'm like, and he wants me to venery the shit out of my wife, and while she does the dishes, and I'm like, oh man, like I don't think that's gonna work. Like, and he goes, look at me in the eyes. And I'm like, dude, I can't look at you. I'm like channeling you while I write. And he's like, I thought that was going to be funny. That's so funny. I have, on this page, I have like bold lines where I think people are going to laugh. And no one's laughed at any bold lines, so that's pretty cool.
Okay. Oh, we've got a moment here. We've got a moment. It's my first bad joke where I admit that it didn't work and everyone chuckled. And there's the lesson, huh? We don't have to. We can always get the laugh by admitting that we suck. It's a little bit of a cop-out, but that was the first time I ever just admitted that I sucked, and then everyone relaxed. Good little lesson there.
Anyway, so he's like, trust me, man, she's gonna fucking love it. And don't be a pussy. And I'm like, dude, my 80-year-old self is very aggressive and really broy. But he is wise, he's been through a lot. He's had a lot of experience. So I text my wife. I said, like, hey, sweetheart, are you doing the dishes? And she's like, yep. And I'm like, well, I'm having a little fantasy, and I was just wondering, like, I kind of want to bend you over the sink while you do the dishes. And I see the bubble, and I get all excited. And then she's like, are you serious? And I'm like, yeah, my future 80-year-old self is telling me we should do this. And I give a little wink emoji, and she texts back, how do I divorce your 80-year-old self? And I'm like, well, I'm like, okay, well, that's kind of hot, like a little resistance. And then she's like, you need help. And then I'm like, all right, well, I'll get help after I help you with the dishes. And then she's like, you're an idiot. And that's pretty much how almost every text I have with her ends. Even if she doesn't write it, she's thinking it. And, I'm done. I have another great story about me being an idiot, but we'll do that next week. Bye, everybody. That's David Wall.
The son, the husband's the idiot. Yeah, there we go. The husband's the idiot. Good one, Dave. That's some real original material, you fuck. You idiot. Oh, I'm an idiot. Yeah, my wife thinks I'm an idiot. What are you doing? What are you doing? Find something better to talk about. These poor people. These charity laughs you're getting. All right, the big lesson. When I listen to that, the biggest thing that pops out to me is that it's not true. I'm not telling some story that actually happened. I'm sitting down to write, and I'm going, oh, this is weird. Yeah, a horny 80-year-old self from a journal entry convincing the actual human to try to bone his wife is funny. And I'm chuckling there. And then when I go and do it and listen back, it isn't. And it's also, maybe someone could turn this into something that's stand-up. I think I have to be very clear with the premise. Like, the premise would have to shift into something like, aren't therapists the worst? Like, they're always giving us the dumbest exercises, and they all backfire on me, you know? My therapist told me to write my 80-year-old, write a letter from your 80-year-old self to your present self. And this is what happens. And then I would go into it. But I wouldn't, harp on it. I would go so fast because basically I took 2 minutes to say a punchline of the 80-year-old self wanting to bend my wife over the sink and being a horny guy in 2050. I have to just get to that. And if no one laughs at that, then you're screwed. But you also have to get into that in a way that's not so jarring. Like, I'm just this nice guy, and then I start talking about it's weird. It's like when I'm up there, I don't think I'm being that crass, or I just don't think it's coming off badly. And then when I listen back, I'm like, ugh, it's just so ick. And so that's good. It's really good to keep in mind. I think it's a greater note that I rely on swearing and I rely on kind of shock stuff too much, and that I need to find new ways into things. I enjoy a swear word. I enjoy a well-placed fuck. But, excuse me, I do have walking pneumonia. I don't know if you can tell from my voice. I'm currently at the Residence Inn in East Rutherford, New York. Don't ask me why. No, but I'm about to do an open mic in New York. I can't wait for this podcast to be fully caught up to exactly where I'm at. Things are getting wild. The basic idea is that I have been obsessed with just sex stuff, which is a very normal way that people start. It's a normal call it a mistake, but you got to go through this stuff. My friend Kevin Christie had the metaphor of pushing the shit out of the pipe to get to the clear water. And that's a lot of what this stuff is. You just got to do 20 open mics just to make all the mistakes and experience them yourself. They can tell you them in the book, but you just got to go and see how it doesn't work. And then your mind goes, okay, I need to go new directions. Yeah, my premise was murky. I was way too slow. I got to motor through setups, get to the parts that I think are going to be funny. And I got to just be way more true. What am I doing up there making some story about that didn't even happen about some journaling with my 80-year-old self. Like, get into the real things of my life, real things that happened. What are you doing? What are you hiding? All right. Thanks for being here. I have had pneumonia all week, and so this was a little shorter one, but I hope you enjoyed, and I thank you for being here. And we'll see you next week. We got some really cool stuff coming up. A lot of special stuff coming up. Just getting bigger, bigger, bigger. Oh my God. This thing is going to wild places. Stay tuned. Later.